This is E-Commerce Uncensored. Brought to you by Fast Forward Unlimited. We're coming to you fully loaded and exposed with all the strategies and techniques for growing your e-commerce business.
Hey everyone, and thanks for joining us on another episode of E-Commerce Uncensored. This is episode number 81. My name is Kevin Manel, and I'm here with
Jason Caruso
and Paul Chu.
Wow, I feel so professional today. I have like notes and stuff in front of me.
Yeah, you're about
It's,
to
like,
read.
serious.
You're about to read like an announcement, right?
Yeah, I know. So we got a couple of announcements here, and the first one is going to be about our sponsor, which is our favorite email marketing platform, Klaviyo.
Before you go anywhere,
go ahead.
I'm actually pretty excited because a lot of people have taken us up on this, and they reached out to us and they're really happy with what's going on so far, which is a good thing because obviously we really didn't know where it was going to go or whether or not our audience was going to respond to it, and it seems like you guys have, and it's good. It's nice.
People are loving it, and Jason's talking about if you go to ecommerceuncensored.com/email, you can sign up for a free membership to Klaviyo
account, which is the first 250 of your contacts imported are free. After that, they have a sliding scale just like everybody else. But look, I think that if you send emails and if your store makes any sales, Klaviyo is where you're going to want to be. We just got off a call today with big giant company that we're working with. Yesterday, we talked to one of our listeners who created a Klaviyo account. He's getting in there doing the stuff, so he's gonna love it. I know he's gonna love it. And there were people. I mean, I love it, and I'm using it. So, that was basically my spiel about it, Kev.
Yeah, go ahead and go over there at ecommerceuncensored.com/email and sign up. But I also wanted to mention that Klaviyo is having an email marketing conference coming to Boston.
Yeah, if you're in the area.
Yeah, it's coming to September 13th and 14th. Even if you're not from Boston, make the trip. Go to Boston. What the hell? Why not?
Yeah, but then that would beg the question as to why we're not going.
We still can.
Yeah,
they just sent this to us. They sent this to us yesterday. We didn't even really know about it. I mean, it's something to consider.
Yeah, definitely.
It's basically they're having a bunch of speakers there. They're gonna talk Shopify Plus, BigCommerce, Google, Octane AI, Recharge, Smile.io, Swell, and there's going to be also some talks from top e-commerce agencies.
Yeah, I mean, one of them on there we actually are very familiar with, which is Ezra Firestone.
Yeah, he'll be doing the keynote address.
Yeah, so I think to go listen to him. I mean, he has a giant e-commerce store, and he uses Klaviyo. So
yeah, so it's September 13th and 14th in Boston. You can go to klaviyo.com/Boston to get your tickets. That's KLAVIYO.com/Boston. So go check that out. I also wanted to read a review that we got.
Woohoo!
Yeah, right? So it's very cool when we see reviews because we actually get to hear from some of you. This one comes from One with Pez, is the name he put in iTunes. Real advice from real practitioners. This is not a podcast where some guru is spouting theory while they have an army of staff members doing all the work for them in the business. These guys are in the trenches doing the work themselves for their own clients every day. The advice and tactics that is shared is easy to understand and approachable, even by small business owners just starting out today. I think this is really cool because I think this is like what we set out to be. Talk about like our real experiences. And we listen to the gurus out there that, are spending thousands and thousands and thousands of dollars on marketing campaigns and are able to test, tons of different things. And we wanted to come to you with just real life experience where we're doing it every day.
Yeah, look, there's these guys, these big guys it's like almost like I always like laugh because when they when these big gurus talk about like their sophisticated funnels and like, dude, when you have that kind of audience, you can do almost anything and it doesn't matter. It's going to work. Right? But what about the rest of us? Like, what about us like that nobody knows who we are and we're using actual like strategies and techniques to actually get results. Right? That's a whole different ballgame. So, when we did start this podcast, our goal was to give people real information that they can really use. with their businesses. And, we recently just started or opened up an e-commerce or like a group on Facebook, which isn't pretty cool. I mean, we just only announced it with like our last episode. So I think we have 14 business owners in there, which is nice because it may not be one of these like groups that ever get 100,000 people, which is but it's good because we're working very closely with everybody in there. Everybody's posting their store, which is nice.
It's intimate and it's engaging,
Yep, and we can talk directly to you guys. So if you are listening for the first time, or this is the first time you're hearing this, go to ecommerceuncensored.com/Facebook, and it will redirect you automatically to our e-commerce uncensored Facebook group. Post in there your store, the link to your store, and there's some dialogue going in there. It's brand new, but that sort of leads me into what today's episode is going to be about. And I think when we set out to do this this podcast, I think we take for granted what people are actually building, what kind of stores they're actually creating, right? Like we always think about e-commerce stores as very like mainstream products. But what we're finding is like a lot of you who are listening have very unique situations, very unique stores. And it's nice because you're not competing, quote unquote, with thousands of other people selling the exact same product. You may or may not be drop shipping from another country, and you're actually creating something of your own, which has been pretty interesting because I've actually thought we would be getting people that are doing the complete opposite. I thought we would be getting people who are just trying to find some hot product and like just trying to push it out there on Facebook and then just trying to get, results that way. And that's honestly how we approached it. But what we're finding from the people in these groups is they have very, very specific and unique businesses.
Yeah, and it's nice because they have these very tight niches, that they're passionate about, and it's something that, like you said, they created on their own. And I think I don't know for sure, but a lot of them seem like they're kind of, building it. It's not their full-time thing right away, but they're kind of building towards that because they're using kind of maybe a hobby that they may have or a passion that they love that they're trying to build this community around, which I think is really cool too.
Yeah, no, because if you do build something that you're passionate about, it's gonna be definitely more of a longevity or more, you're gonna want to do it for longer. But I've been noticing, and this is something that I may or may not have really known that it was an issue, but going through, because I do go look at every single person who posts their store in the group, I do go check out their website, and I have to say, I'm pretty impressed with a few things. Number one, with the creativity of people.
Absolutely, yeah. Right?
Like, I'm like the worst when it comes to creativity. I mean, I'm just like a numbers guy, and the creative side. Like I couldn't think of a business if I sat in a room alone for a year and didn't do anything else but think of like a unique idea.
Yeah, and doing this a long time, this whole website thing is like we get clients that call us that have like established businesses, and we look at some of the sites that come to us and we're like, how did you even publish this? Like, how is it?
Or how did you even make a sale?
Yeah.
Like, how does somebody even buy a product from you?
Yeah. And a lot of them are using Shopify, which I think is part of it, which really helps you just get going and get over the hump of the whole web design process, and you can get it out there fast, and they give you some good templates to use. I think for the most part, everybody was using Shopify, right? I didn't look too deep into it, but
I didn't look too deep into it either. But Shopify seems to be the easiest and the quickest. I do know Richard Marsh, who we've spoke to, he was on Shopify, now is using WooCommerce.
Oh, yeah, that's right.
So there are different, but one thing that I really see that's sort of consistent with everybody. Now, when you're selling a hat or a cell phone case or sneakers or shirts or pants or whatever the hell you're selling, it doesn't take when you're selling those sort of products that everybody knows about, right? It's not very difficult to get your message across when people come to your website, right? But the unique websites that we're finding in, from you guys, the listeners, these unique websites, I'm finding that a lot of them don't have a very clear message. Mm-hmm. Like, they're not, when somebody comes to your website, they need to know exactly what you do within, a split second. Because if they go there and they're not exactly sure what you provide, they're going to leave.
Yeah. And it's really tough because people don't read. They just skim through everything. So they're going to show up and they're distracted and they want to be back on Facebook or whatever, Instagram or whatever they're on. So that short period of time, you need to be, creative in a way on how you communicate your message, but just straightforward.
Yeah, I mean, I'm not going to mention any names here, but there is somebody that I looked at which has a really cool concept, and they actually explain, like, underneath the main banner, they kind of explain the steps, here's how it works, and the steps, and, which is cool. But I think what happens is that people, because they know what their product is or what they're selling, they tend to get a little too cute. Mm-hmm. And when you get cute and you assume that people understand why you're being cute, you kind of lose people, right?
Yeah, I think I've even developing this business, the business that we have, we've even done that. And we're redeveloping our main agency website now. But it's like from the very beginning, like we always try to come up with these cute taglines about what we do. And it was just, we joke about it sometimes. It's like these collaborative minds come together, and you know what I'm talking about, Paul?
Yeah,
like these really weird taglines that like just tell me what. And you and I talked about this. We're gonna put a banner that says get results,
or get like leads. We help companies make money.
Right.
Yeah. That's it.
They don't need to know all that bullshit.
Exactly. and that's and I've experienced this with you guys, right? You guys, when I first came here, there's all these creatives in here, and it's like everybody wants to be like a wordsmith and like put all these words together, and like
some people more than others,
right? Some people more than others, but people want to get cute, right? They want to get creative when really, like, I will make you money.
I think it happens when you have somebody who's in like a really unique product or niche that they're passionate about. Is because they're so passionate about it, they want to try to communicate that passion to somebody else, when really it's just the bottom line is buy my stuff because it'll do this.
Yeah, we, like for example, let's suppose you have first thing that comes to my mind is like a gifting company, like chocolate covered strawberries or something like that, right? Like you could say something like, we keep your spouse happy or something yeah. by providing, by delivering chocolate covered strawberries or chocolate treats, mm-hmm. right? It's like, it's straight to the point. You don't have to think about it anymore. I mean, obviously I just thought about that out of my head, but for us, it would be, we help small businesses make money.
Yeah.
Or we help small businesses generate leads. Or we help e-commerce stores generate sales. I mean, it has to be that simple. Yeah. Not like, we have the most creative minds on the planet, and we are really working with product-driven, data. I mean, like,
it's crazy to say, but you gotta kind of assume that the person who's looking at your page is kind of stupid, essentially.
Yeah.
Like, talk to them like they're a third or fourth grader, right? Because wasn't there some study done where the fact that most people,
you have to write to a fourth grade
right.
level? Yeah,
that's like a thing, right?
That is a thing.
Yeah.
So it's funny, like probably like 6 years ago when I was working for this company called Be Alive, and at the time they were a big giant company, 25 million, whatever. And I used to tell everybody, because they were really about like the message, and they always tried to get cute. And I was like, I always said, like, the more you make someone have to think, the faster they're going to leave. Mm-hmm. Right? Like, just assume they're dumb, and they can't put two and two together. And I don't mean that in a bad way, but just assume that they're not smart enough to connect the dots. The less thinking somebody has to do, the more they're going to convert. The higher they're going to.
I mean, it ties into some of the other things we talk about, like when you're talking about sending emails out and the things you have to add to the email, like a button. Like you got to be like, okay, here's a button. You got to click here. You know what I mean? Where it's like almost common sense kind of things, but you really need to do these kinds of things to point people in the right direction. Like do this, or they'll just get lost or confused. Or
I was working with one of the girls from our new client, the big, giant cosmetic company that we're working with, and I don't know if you guys heard me talking to her on the email today about email.
Yeah.
And basically, her email said something like, it said, the results are in. They had this cool GIF, right? Like, it was really cool. It was like laid out very.
Is it GIF or
It's a
GIF?
GIF.
Can we
GIF.
talk about
Whatever.
that for a second?
GIF.
Because it stands for graphics interface format or graphics.
So it's
you'd
GIF,
say,
right?
Yeah, it's GIF. You'd say the
Whatever.
G like
Well,
graphics.
when you're talking to a graphic designer like her, you should maybe say it correctly. I don't know.
Did you
She's
say
not
it
a
Just
wrong?
think
graphic
about it.
designer, by the way. She's an email.
Well, she's
marketer.
in that.
Okay.
I
Anyway,
just don't want you to sound stupid like usual.
I don't really care if I sound stupid as long as they make money. I mean, you look stupid.
All right. Anyway, they had a nice GIF.
Anyway,
And
it's a GIF. Okay, GIF, animated freaking picture. How's that?
Got it.
Image.
Thank you.
Okay. And it basically said the results are in, and then it just listed the products. And I was like, what results are you talking about? And she's like, well, we're just playing on words. And I'm like, well, no, you have to, pay that off. Like, you have to explain what you mean by the results are in. And literally, it was just like a sentence. Like, X companies uses clinical research to make your whatever bigger. Or, wait, that didn't sound good, did it?
where you going with that?
But anyway,
Sign me up.
It's just like a one sentence that basically ties that in with the product. And it basically goes back to this. Is like, you can't assume people are going to read further or try to find the one spot in your text below the product that explains what the results are. You have to explain it in a very simple way, You
should actually assume that they're not going to.
Yes.
Going to read
Well,
it.
when you come up with an idea or a slogan or any sort of marketing campaign, like, it makes sense for you or for us, whoever comes up with it,
Right.
but people aren't thinking the same way. So you just have to be more descriptive, but still simplify it.
Right, and straightforward. We are a digital marketing studio that helps small businesses get more leads.
Simple.
It's just like that. Done.
That's what it is.
Right. And same thing with like a store, right? Like our clients, when Paul knows this, when we create banners for them, it's always very simple. It's just like straight to the point. It's just, and we do this a lot with offers, like save 20% off 4th of July sale. That's it. That's all they need to know. They just need to know it's 20% off for 4th of July and when it's ending. Whatever.
And I think it's good to get creative and maybe like a little cutesy with stuff, but that's for like bigger established brands. Like, you can get away with that when, we always use like Nike, for example, like a little bit more just difficult to maybe pick up because Nike's brand for years. When you're a startup, you have to skip past all that because no one knows your personality as a business.
Well, Nike, all you have to do is show the swoosh and it's related to sports.
Right.
Right. So like, it's like, for example, my son, we're buying, he needs glasses, right? So listen to this. I don't know if I told you guys this. He needs glasses. And of course, it's a little emotional, that your son needs glasses. Meanwhile, I've had them since I was 2 or whatever. I don't really wear them, but I've had them. Paul wears them. And like, she comes home, it's like the lenses, the doctor gave her the lenses. Nike, Ralph Lauren, what's the other one? Oakley.
Yeah.
I'm like, really? Like the kids, 4 years old, the lenses are $200 each. And I'm like, all right. But the minute you see those logos, like, it's like instantly you're cool, right? Like, so like it goes from like, oh my God, he needs glasses. But now it's like Nike, or Ralph Lauren or Oakley, and now it's
Turn it into a fashion statement.
right now it's a fashion statement. But those brands, they tie into something already, and it's a little bit easier to get your point across. But when somebody doesn't know what you do or know who you are, you really need to make the benefit, right? Like, what are you giving that person? You like instant. And now with attention spans even less, right? Like the year or the age of the mobile device, where it's like you just look at it on your phone.
Yeah.
It's even more, important. What do you do, and how are you going to help the person? That's it. Getting cute, and you can use words that maybe only your target understands, but you still should make the message, crystal clear.
And you can get into that later. I mean, once you have a customer, you can start taking them through, your story or more of your passion, how you want to express yourself in that way. But when you want to get that first sale, how can you, what is it? How can I help you now? Or what is it? What kind of quote am I trying to say? What have you done for me?
What have you done for me lately?
What have you done for me lately? It's like that kind of thing. It's like, that's all people want to know.
This used to be called, what was it called? I forgot the term.
We're both struggling with.
Oh man, I forgot.
You're gonna have to feed us a little bit more of a hint.
Yeah.
To help you out.
Like a little bit more.
What is it when like your statement that separates you from everybody else? What the hell is it called?
Your mission statement?
No.
Like what?
No. There's a term for it. That was like a big thing in marketing. It's just slipping my mind right now. But it's like I don't know.
Yeah.
People are listening, like they're like saying it right now. I can hear it, like
Yeah, right.
Come on.
But anyway, it's basically your
motto, your slogan,
it's gonna annoy me now.
Okay. Well, join our Facebook group and let us know what Jason's trying to think.
Yeah, but anyway, basically, it's your differentiating.
Tagline?
No, I'll figure it out.
Let's move on.
Anyway, the point is that it's basically that. It's basically what you do for them, and what you do for them, and what they're going to get out of hiring you or buying your product.
Yeah, this was a good idea. I mean, you came in, you were like excited. You're like, let's talk about this. I have a topic right away.
Well, I was
nice.
looking at everybody's. Store, and it just struck me that when I went to them, a lot of them, I would say almost all of them except maybe one, were very unique products. And I had to work a little bit too much to really know what they were doing. And it was like a common theme.
Yeah.
Right? Some of them, like if I thought about it enough, I got it. Some of them were close, but like didn't exactly do it.
And think about it. You were assessing that as a marketer. Like, you were trying to dissect how their website looked. If you were a customer, you would have been like, I have no idea what this is. Waste of time. Let me keep shopping.
Right.
And going about my day.
Even though they were cool concepts, right? I still was like struggling to like. Even Kevin and I opened up one of them, and we were like, "This is cool, but what exactly is it?"
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? So just be clear to the point. Tell people, because the other thing that you have to keep in mind is like this is even more important when you're running paid advertising, right? Like, people, when they think of Facebook advertising or Google advertising, the first thing they think about is like, I need the ninja targeting trick. I need the landing page trick. I need the process. And most people forget the other side of it, which is, when people get to where they're going, do they know what the hell they're looking at?
Right.
Right? Because it's not just, the quote unquote ninja. I always thought that. I'm like, oh my God, I got to learn the Facebook ninja like process. Like, I don't know what it is. I mean, now that we've been doing it for so long and we have so much experience, like, there's no real ninja thing, man. It's just like trying to figure out the right message in front of the people. And, so it was very, very, it struck me as something that seems like everybody, kind of struggles with.
Yeah, I mean that's that's really why I'm very excited about this group, because I feel like we're just going to get in touch with so many different people who are trying different things. Yeah, and we're going to see a whole lot. We're going to get deep into like what people are doing. Like some of the comments and some of the posts in there are like details about their store, taxes and stuff like that. So it's going to really drive some of our content too, which I'm really psyched about.
Yeah, and I think it'll be nice to actually hear what people who are actually listening to us, what they're struggling with. Mm-hmm. Because, oftentimes we struggle with or we've come across the problem. I mean, not all of them. Like, I don't know how much we can help with tax stuff. Yeah. We're not really on that end of it.
But that's what's interesting about it. Like, we're coming from it as like an agency helping other businesses run
we're
their
a marketing
marketing
podcast.
Right.
I mean, we're not,
exactly.
That's what we are.
But it's good because we're going to see the other side of things and see the difficulties people are actually going through. Like, we started our own e-commerce store. We're going through that now. It's like, but we're really going to get it from all sides. So it's going to be really cool.
Yeah.
So go over to ecommerceuncensored.com/Facebook. Join a group and we'll get into the conversation.
Yeah, post your store URL so that we can come on here and make fun of it. No, just kidding. Talk shit about it. Yeah. No, but there's a good chance that we will mention something that you're struggling with that will help. We actually had a call yesterday with somebody who he was like, "Man, I didn't think of some of those things that you guys were talking about." He's like, "You guys make a lot of good points." And one thing that Kevin and I get excited about is when people actually listen to us and it works. Like, he was like, "Yeah, man, like I was being more I definitely saw being consistent helps." And like, that's something we talk about all the time. Like,
I texted you last night. I was like, because we were getting some comments on the group, and I was like, people are actually doing what we're saying. It's cool. Yeah. It's really awesome to see that.
Yeah, I mean, it's funny because that's new for, like, with the old blog I used to have, that was kind of normal. But it's like it's funny to see how excited you get because you're not kind of used to like actually saying something and seeing someone do it on the other side.
Well, we have no direct contact with the people we're talking to.
Now we do. Facebook
now
group.
We do. Yeah. So check it out.
Klaviyo.com/Boston if you want to go to the biggest Klaviyo get together, I guess they call it.
Yeah, it's for 400 e-commerce marketers and store owners. It's gonna be great. Keynote by Ezra Firestone.
Yeah. We like Ezra.
Yeah, love Ezra.
Yeah, we like Ezra. He did tell us he wanted to come on the show and then never responded back.
Yeah, that's right. He reached out. That was like
Why don't you guys go to this?
We should.
Meet up
we
in
should
Boston.
Go to this.
We should. We gotta see.
My wife's going to Boston actually in a couple weeks for another conference. I should get in on this. Yeah. So maybe we will. We'll see.
All right, guys. Hopefully that helped. We will talk to you next week.
Thank you. You can check us out at ecommerceuncensored.com. We'll talk to you guys real soon.
Later.
See ya.